Okay, here's a little trick I do to take notes. I normally run Notepad, open Notepad up, come on Notepad, and I go File, New, and then I can put bits and pieces in there, and then I make it small. So if I want to have little notes here. Okay, so MPLAB X IDE has been downloaded. MPLAB X XC16 compiler has been downloaded. So it's this one with the IDE, not the IPE. Double click on it. I already had a project, so I'm just going to get rid of that project because we want to start from a flash. So it'll take some time. I'll just close the project. Okay, so you're here at the start page, Files, Services, and then we down here we'll say Open a sample project. So let's look at a let's open a sample project. So click on Sample, and it's microchip embedded, and there's an Explorer 16. Let's take Explorer 16 board, and let's pick a demo. It looks like they're all let's do the blink. Let's pick a PIC24 part. We don't have the part we're going to use, but this is just for an example. And go next. And this is you can edit this, but this is going to put the project name in this project folder, project location, and the project folders, and the project file name for the project is always with a .x. It should automatically create that normally, and we're going to set it as the main project, and we're going to go finish, and the project will be created. Jigga. I don't need Java. That should have really closed by now. We'll close it anyway. And here is the project. This is the start page, of course. We don't really need the start page, so because we'll just leave it blank. And here's the project. And again, you can look at that this little IC icon here is the project. And if you undo the project, you can see you've got header files, and you can see you've got hierarchy here, different header files for different things. And then you've also got there's normally nothing else in these files, you don't worry about them. You've got source files like main.c and a few function files like using the LEDs and the timers and the ADC. The libraries and the loadables we normally don't use. Okay, let's open a file. So main.c is the main project, and it comes up here as main.c. If you hover over main.c, it'll tell you exactly where it is on the hard drive in the folder path, and you can see it's grayed out. This is C comments, and you can see any real C code is in color, so it's color context. It's defined some variables. This is in main.c. Of course, it's defined some C functions, some more C function. And then when the processor resets, does its little thing, it always brings you to main.c is the first. And we open up main.c, we initialize the system, put some string characters, set a timer. We can go in a while one loop and do some character conversion. This is the main.c file, but obviously there's how you talk to an LED is here. So the LEDs, etc. Defining bits to turn bits off and on, etc. So what we're going to do now is the main thing you need to understand is that this project has properties. And if we go up to File and then down to Properties, you can see that the chosen processor is here, the compiler that is chosen for the project is here, and the hardware for programming or debugging is here. I'm just going to change that to the simulator for the moment. I'm going to apply. Normally you don't touch any, but if there was some compiler configuration stuff, you could set up the configuration like optimizations and a few other things. You generally don't need to touch these for the moment, and not for the project that we're doing. So where were we? We're back to general, what compiler, and click OK. Now you can also get to the properties here by right mouse click, and then down the bottom, right down the bottom, there's properties down the bottom, and that'll get you to the same function. Over here is the properties page, so you can see they call it the project page. You can see the part, the project name, the actual part, the compiler and the compiler version, the memory available. Now and the debugger tool we're using. When we compile using this icon up here, I'll just move this in here. When we compile, hitting the clean and build icon, compile, clean and build, the output window comes up here. And if I'll just give the output window, and the output window, you can see how much memory was used. You can see 2% or 5K was used of flash program memory, and less than 1% for RAM memory. And you can also see that's also in the properties over here. You can see, one click, this part, and so on. So clean and build. The properties there. Okay, good. So all I've done is I've compiled a project using the XC. Again, I'll go back to right mouse click, properties. I've used the XC16 compiler here. I've told it what part it is for, and I'm using the simulator. And then I've hit the clean and build main project, clean and build. I'll just clean and build again, and clean the project. So there were no errors in the code. If I want to look at the source files, I can come over here and look at how does the ADC functions work. So again, let's pull this down so we can see it. So we're in the ADC file, some header files, ADC read percentage, and some C functions, reading channels, setting up the sampling for the ADC, enabling the channels, and then there's a description of the function. And then main will call these ADC functions, of course. Also, if you want to look at system timers or system, for example, the system initialization file. This is all setting up all the register settings and some other things like interrupts. So a lot of this stuff is generated for you. The system file is generated, but you can add extra things. So a bit like an Arduino program, in the main file, which will go here, where's my main file? In my main file, you can see when we start the main, where's my main.c? Main.c, we do system initialize, and the system initialize calls this system initialize function. And similarly in Arduino, for example, in your main.c, you call system initialize and then you call loop, of course. But this is C code, not function code. Okay, that'll do for today. I know the project compiles, so I know my compiler works and the IDE works. We'll stop there.